After re-signing center Jake Evans to a 4-year extension, the Montreal Canadiens have 9 players to sign or trade. Who stays and who goes at the deadline? In this video, I'll tell you what I think for all 9. Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Thanks for joining me. All right. The Montreal Canadiens and center Jake Evans have agreed to a new 4-year, $11.4 million, $2.85 million AAV contract, keeping Evans off the trade board and injecting a shot of confidence directly into the arm of this young team. With captain Nick Suzuki saying after Monday's second win in a row versus Buffalo and the team's first 5-game win streak of the season, putting them just 1 point back of the wild card spot, that the players were trying to make it hard for GM Kent Hughes in deciding whether or not to trade Evans and others at the deadline. With the re-signing of Evans the very next day, it seems the GM was listening to what the players were telling him. The deadline is just 48 hours away, as I wrote this video, and the question is still out there for the other 4 UFAs and 5 RFAs in the Canadiens organization. Yoel Armia, Christian Dvorak, David Savard, Caden Primo, Mike Pezzetta, Emil Heineman, Raphael Harvey-Pinard, Jaden Struble, and Jacob Dobish. Here's what I think. I'm going to start with my opinion on the Jake Evans signing. An awesome signing. It may be 1 year longer than kind of I'd prefer, but that's really nothing because the money is perfect. If you need to move the contract at any time, the AAV is not going to hinder that. Evans took a hometown deal, showing how much he wants to continue to be part of what's cooking here. It pays him for what he's done so far in his career with Montreal, what he'll do in the future, but not for the outlier season that he's having this season. Smart by GM Kent Hughes, and in my opinion, a smart move by Evans. He could have ended up on a bottom team where he doesn't want to be and unhappy, but making the money and getting the term that he wanted. He chose to take a little less to stay on the team he loves and end up on a contender in a couple of seasons, anyway, in my opinion. He believes in the team, and he proved it. Yoel Armia, who is a UFA. Pierre Maguire on the Sick podcast, I believe last week, said that Montreal has been trying to trade Yoel Armia for 3 years now. Now, with no term left on his contract, right now, there might be some interest in a premier penalty killer, a defensive forward that can score a bit, 10 to 20 goals a season if given enough ice time. A good fourth-line contributing winger, solid playoff performer from the fourth line, as evidenced in his 2021 playoff performance with Montreal. Elite penalty killer that could be invaluable to a contender. Considering the return won't be much, though, I think Montreal probably keeps him around as their own rental player and then let him walk in the offseason. Christian Dvorak, he's a UFA as well. It's the same for Devo in my opinion. The return will be negligible, a 5th, 6th, or 7th round pick. Might as well keep it status quo and not mess with the chemistry unless you can put together a deal to bring in a legit second-line center, which may be an impossible task at the deadline anyway. Let's face it, Devo won't be here next season, but he can still be useful at the dot and ride out the season at 3C. David Savard, he's a UFA, and it's rinse and repeat with Savard. His veteran presence is valuable. He's a shot-blocking beast, great guy in the room, on the bench, and on the ice, and he's helping Arbor Jacki a ton. Probably won't get much interest or garner much of a return anyway. He's valuable if you want to make your own run. He's a right-shot defenseman. Montreal does not have enough of those. So why trade him if he's more valuable to the team right now than any return you'd get? Caden Primo, he's an RFA, and I believe he's a UFA next year if they only sign him to a one-year deal. He won't cost much and is a good AHL goalie. Can be good depth still and may yet work his way into being a valuable asset. Short term, that's all I'd sign him to, 1 to 2 years. He's still young. Why give up yet? Mike Pezzetta, he's a UFA. Listen, I doubt there's any interest in Pez. He's a good soldier, and I like the guy. Keep him for depth, but he walks in the offseason. Emil Heineman, he's an RFA. No doubt you re-sign him to a 2 to 3 year bridge deal at $1 million, somewhere around there. Solid winger, bottom six, but has a great shot and can score with it. Plays hard and physical too. Listen, he's going nowhere but up in the organization. Raphael Harvey Pinard is an RFA as well. He's good depth. I'd re-sign him to league minimum, around $1 million a year, maybe 1 to 3 years, I guess. He's still young enough, but pretty much set as who he is. Jaden Struble is an RFA. He's a good 7th D or 3rd pair guy, still developing with potential. I want to see more physicality, but he has shown more of late. I'd re-sign him. League minimum up to $1 million for up to 3 years. Jacob Dobish is an RFA. Dobish has come back to earth a bit after his great start. Looks to be a solid backup going forward. Lots of potential. Re-sign 2 to 3 years, $1 million to maybe up to $1.5 million. And maybe I'm crazy with that, but I'd re-sign him for sure. Thanks for watching. If you like this, give a thumbs up, leave a comment, and please share this video.